baby. It's time for Rosie. Rosie's in. She's just been having some good times dancing around to the early morning tunes. Plenty to talk about today, though. Bitcoin opening up for the new month, and of course, traditional markets as well. A lot of things going on as the markets do bounce up, giving a little bit of glimmer of hopium. Hey, Rosie, stop. No biting. No, gentle, gentle. Hey, she just pushed me away. How dare you? Do you know who pays her vet bills? All right, that's not a part of the deal. I'm putting her down, sending her to you, Elsa. There you go. There she goes. There she goes yet again. Anyways, starting the stream a little bit later today. If you happen to give a fuck why, the reason is because, well, we're actually replacing the bedroom carpet with wood flooring today, and so the guys were coming a little bit earlier, and they came around the usual start time. So I figured I will push back 30 minutes. So I can take care of both things. And it's also Elsa's fault as well. That's the real reason, as many people have speculated. Elsa is to blame for literally everything in the world. All problems around the world. Even Epstein's Island, Elsa was involved as well, because she didn't do anything. And that's the real crime here, not doing anything. Anyway, speaking of not doing anything, well, I mean, markets are doing something right now. Bitcoin, heading to new lows over the weekend. And of course, gold, silver, crashing down over the weekend as well. But I do think that we found a local low here. We did hit more or less the corrective target for gold and silver on the first expected bounce. That was down to, for silver, about 70 to 75 bucks. We've seen that. And then of course over here on gold, that was indeed right around that daily 55 EMA, which was 4,500. Now getting a pretty epic bounce from that number. And while I do think that the bounce carries on for more, I don't think that this is going to be turning around into a new all-time high drive. But I do want to state the obvious, maybe the obvious for a lot of the crypto people here who've been around for, multiple cycles, and it is this. We've been seeing all of the same fucking narratives that you see when Bitcoin tops out, where the permabulls say why it's going to absolutely continue and why people are idiots for, thinking that the cycle is over. We're seeing the exact same thing, but just in gold and silver and the rest of the metals. It's the exact same narratives. It's like, it's just like recycled garbage, which I guess makes sense, because we're all humans. We all working off the same sort of machinery upstairs in the brain, if we have brains typically. So I guess, the same sort of thing flies over. But how many times have you heard fucking this? The fundamentals have not changed for gold. Therefore, this is a manipulation, and the sell-off will not survive, and we shall be going up by next week to new highs. Yes, indeed. Well, good luck with that hopium, I guess. Same thing with Bitcoin here too. It's like, hey, I think it's going to bounce. We've hit that prior major low from last April. You're almost always going to bounce off a major low like that. But is that going to be the reversal into new all-time highs? I mean, I wish so. That'd be great, hold a lot of Bitcoins. But at the same time, got to call a spade, man. At the end of the day, I want to remind myself that on this channel, I am not beholden to any sort of advertiser, any sort of, silly opinions. I can make my own mistakes, but at least you're getting my real opinion, my real unfiltered opinion, which, yes, indeed, I do still make my own mistakes. But at least I'm not just repeating some bullshit that some person fucking fed me or because I have to, because, I feel like the community needs to be bullish or needs to be bearish or needs to be some sort of way. I trust that you're going to make your own decisions well for yourself, and I'll just share my opinions here, and you can take what you like and discard what you don't like, and that's all good. You can also just come here for fucking entertainment too. I mean, it's all good. What's up, Nick Lorietta? What's up, my man? What's up, everyone? Joe Martin says, I miss Elsa opening with ring, ring, ring. Hurrah, simps and virgins. Yes, indeed. Mr. Pow Pow, good morning to you, man. James Cavill, Natch Bombs, Biff the Bear. A lot of familiar faces in here. Johnson Prescott, good morning to you, man. Yoel Ton, Kijo's dad, Crypto Jacker, and Lutfi Muradova, and Freddie M. I see you over there as well. Nasty, I see you. And Eratos. Yeah, a few new faces here too, which is cool. Always happy to be having new people in this community. And, well, I guess without further ado, I can take a few more sips of this caffeine. And then let's go over a little bit of gold, a little bit of traditional markets. Gold here, I still stick with my top call. I think that this is undoubtedly a major high, which is going to get a swing to the downside, it be getting perhaps in a swing low, perhaps even a macro high. I personally think that it's a macro high. That is my personal opinion. Technical analysis wise, not really confirmed until you see this thing back down below, some critical numbers, let's say about 4,400 on a monthly closing basis. So if we're on your weekly over here, I'd be looking somewhere around, I mean, technically, I guess it'd be more like 4,000. That's not very helpful, though, to call a macro high right there. Already like 20-30% off of the current highs. But yeah, again, my personal opinion here is that, yeah, the highs are in for a very long time for gold. And, if you enjoy the upside move, I would be certainly taking at least a strong amount of profits right there. While I do think that things can bounce up significantly here, maybe back up to about 5,000 or 5,100, I do think that that is going to be your next bull trap. Remember, all fucking bull market cycles end with a parabolic blow off top and then a bull trap. And in this case, you got your parabolic blow off top right here, have a big screaming move to the downside. I mean, this is the most volatile move you've seen in golds, in like the last 20 to 30 years. Ultimately, I do think that this thing is going to bounce up more, and it very likely is going to be a bull trap. I look at this thing as a bull trap as long as you are especially below 5,200. 5,200 is about my line in the sand right now for a weekly closing basis to remain bearish on. Meaning that if I'm wrong, I'm happy to change my opinion if we get some evidence, which again would be weekly above 5,200. If that happens, great, amazing, awesome. It's gold fucking party on again, I guess. But for right now, I'm looking for something like this to happen. Or I guess my LARP lines already kind of gave it away, but something like this, and then finishing its way all the way down somewhere around about 4,000 bucks. I think that's going to be another major low for gold, somewhere around there. Nice round even number, and also the daily 200 simple if and when it does get there. But that's, a little bit further in the future. I mean, probably, more than a few weeks away from that. And this week should be more or less a bounce. Keep in mind the way that the monthly closed as well. Monthly did close with a long wick to the upside here. And while this month has already opened up in February as a quick retest to that red 5 EMA, that is going to be a next major sort of floodgate if lost on the next monthly closure, which, it's going to be kind of far away. But, we're talking about long-term stuff right now, would be the next sort of like major signal that, hey, this thing is ready for a big markdown at that point, probably looking mid 3,000s. I think you get another big bounce there. My personal opinion is that this market cycle will likely finish somewhere between 2,500 to 3,000, and then spend many years reaccumulating, and then probably is good again. I mean, I'm not necessarily like a long-term bear on gold. Gold, has obviously proven itself through the test of time, and that has been consistent through the whole humanity that we've seen. So I have no real reason to believe that it's going away or anything like that. But just like all cycles go, you blow off your top, you spend many moons coming back down, and that's all good. And I think that we're basically entering into that phase. Same shit on silver over here as well. This one can be more volatile. So I think for the traders out there in the world, is probably just more interesting right now compared to gold, even though gold also has like major moves going on. But similar to gold, I am looking for a big bounce here. I think this thing will test somewhere around 90 or low 90s, maybe even all the way up to like 92 bucks in the next week or two. And then that's what I'd be looking for on a bull trap sort of move. So again, if I'm drawing out the LARP lines here, I guess I kind of already got it right there, but let's do it again for kind of where we're at right now, because now we are 1 week later, I suppose. Something like this, comes up here somewhere around 90 bucks in the next week or two, gets rejected, comes down swiftly, taking out this week's low. And then at that point, this thing's probably coming down, settling somewhere around, I would imagine 45 to 50 bucks. I think that's where you're going to find a major, perhaps macro low. And that would, in my opinion, be really, really good. But similar to gold, probably going to take its time. Like, this has been a parabolic rally just straight to the fucking upside for the last few years, especially in gold. Silver a little bit less so, but just as impressive on that last push. So it's going to take some time, man. It's going to take some time, and that's okay. These are ancient assets right here. We can expect them to take more time than our prized Bitcoins, because Bitcoin realistically has only been around for what, like 15, 16 years. Gold's been around since, I don't know, since forever. It's not really comparable in these fashions. So, probably going to take more time than a Bitcoin cycle. In fact, I can just about guarantee that in the highest probability sense, just like one small 0.01 below 100%. Is how I feel about that one. Anyways, as far as traditional markets go, we are seeing SPY and NASDAQ opening up the week on a bit of a bounce as well. I'm still bullish on both, as was the prognosis, or as was the analysis on yesterday's video. SPY futures right here. Again, my major bias buster for getting bearish on this asset, which I'm not right now, but if it were to happen, I'd be happy to get bearish, is just coming back down and closing a weekly time frame below last month's low of 68.14.5. Until then, I'm just bullish here, man. Just follow the yellow brick trend. It's going moving up into the right. Just let it do what it's going to do. These phases can last, several more months for sure. But I am looking for a high in SPY futures or just SPY in traditional markets sometime within the next year. I think around the end of the first half of this year is where we start to become a little bit more in sort of the crosshairs for that. The explanation was on yesterday's video, but basically whenever the monthly RSI gets into this zone right here, things have typically gone on for about 8 to 14 months after that. And in this case, we have just entered into that region as of October's closure. So we're 1, 2, 3 working on month number 4 here. So, I still think that these marks crawl their way up into the right. Still, we have technical targets further to the upside for SPY specifically, which was about 7,300. And over here on NASDAQ, same shit too. This one also going to have the exact same invalidation for getting bearish. But until then, this is a nice reaccumulation formation. It's higher lows right here. It's an ascending triangle if you want to be playing the patterns like a pattern bro. You also got hidden bullish divergence from that last higher low. That's what you expect on these continuation consolidations. So ultimately, where do I think that this one's going? Still looking, somewhere around 28,000 bucks. It would be confirmed, on a breakout, either with a weekly closure above 26,000 or just popping back above last week's high. One of those two things does it for me, especially on low volatility. This thing's ready to move. I think this month, honestly, this is good. And again, last month's low is my invalidation for getting and also for getting bearish, which is 25,000 bucks. Weekly closure below there. Sure, yeah, send it back down to 23,000 bucks or whatever. To want to see it again. But for right now, yeah, I have no real reason to be bearish on this. If you want to talk about rotations, I think it's a silly game. But if there is any sort of rotation right now, it's not gold to Bitcoin. It's fucking gold to traditional markets is what it is. We got the same thing with the small caps over here as well. These things typically rally during the end of a market cycle. And what do you know? It's rallying right now. It just had a fresh breakout as of the past couple of months. I expect this thing to continue to new all-time highs this month or at latest in March and probably for another 3 months after that at least. This is overall very good. It spent the last 3-4 years consolidating between 2,400 and about 1,700. Do you think it's all going to be done in just 2 months? No, of course not. This thing probably, or almost undoubtedly, is going to head up above 3,000 bucks. I said something a little bit crazy there, but yeah, I do think that. I actually do think that. Other than that, what else we got over here? Well, probably don't need to go through too many of the traditional market stuff. Metals are going to pretty much trade together with each other. You can look at this in the same way as you look at like a shitcoin season, right? You got gold, Bitcoin leading the rally, then in varying degrees of strength, all the rest of them follow. And, if gold ain't rallying, then typically the rest of them ain't rallying as well. But I do expect, this next move to last, I don't know, a week or two with a general sort of trudge to the upside and very likely lower highs. That is the purpose of a bull trap. Anyways, yeah, so that's pretty much it for the metals and traditional markets. We can get into some Bitcoin price action analysis here. I want to also make the announcement that the Revin Ribbons indicator, the Ribbits, the frog indicator. I'm a frog. I'm a frog, guys. I'm a frog. And they're turning the frogs gay as well, in which I'm the biggest one. Anyways, yeah, Revin Ribbons is now available. You can actually try it out for 7 days free. There is a link in the description below to Teachable that will then take you to that page. Well, actually, I'll just show you really quickly. Like, why not? I actually don't know exactly how it's going right now, to be honest with you. All right, let's go over here. Yeah, there we go. It's this link right here, the green one, learn to trade in indicators. And this would be an indicator. And we got to go to view all courses. That'll bring us to this page. There we go. And then and then if you scroll all the way down, I'm already logged to myself, so it's not going to show what people would generally see. But if you scroll all the way down, yeah, you will see the Revin Ribbons indicator. I'll put it up a little bit later as well. But yeah, you can try it out for 7 days free. This one, again, still giving a downside bias, but it is showing a bounce here, similar to what we're saying on gold, similar to what we're saying on traditional markets, and Bitcoin's the same thing here, right? Lowest target for this bounce is about 79,400. We've kind of already seen that as of this morning. If Bitcoin does want to head up a little bit more, somewhere around 81, 82,000 bucks is the next area of interest. And again, the mid band here, which is 86,700, is still the bias holder for a downside continuation move on the trend. So while it can bounce here, and it probably does bounce a little bit more, unless if it bounces above 86,500 or so, still bearish overall, just looking for lower highs. There's a lot of good reasons to believe, as we'll go over a little bit later, that Bitcoin is going to be heading lower and probably for some time. There's actually a really good question in the Discord from somebody who really wanted me to comment on this, which I guess I'll do my best job to do it right now. But it was from Matt. Hold on. It was from Matt Gal, and he says, with what's looking like the Bitcoin top being in and the 4-year cycle looking intact, can you give us a time guide on when we can expect a macro low? Well, I mean, if Bitcoin has put in the high and is playing out the 4-year cycle, which right now we have no reason to believe it's not, because that is the exact sort of timing that we have gotten thus far, then we can expect about a year out from the October high to be looking for a low. So somewhere around, August, September, October area is probably where I'm looking for a low. If that holds true, which remains to be seen, but, probably a good guide. Just basically not now, like not fucking now, not looking for a low at this exact moment. I'll put it that way. I think that Bitcoin still has lower to go. And then he's also asking, looking back at past gold, silver bull markets and blow off tops, any insight into the dates coincided with major economic events? I probably wouldn't fuck around with that, to be honest, just because all of that stuff is always going to be hindsight bias. There's so many economic events where you didn't see price move, and that's the problem. Price creates a narrative rather than narrative creating the price, almost always. So it's like you've probably seen a million different narratives, and then nothing actually fucking happened on price. And then, of course, when the top happened or when the bottom happened, there was naturally a narrative alongside that as well. And what do you know? Then you're going to think, oh shit, it is always like that. But it's not. We have to actually look at it from the other, from the other angle. What's up, Mr. Van Duysen? Good to see you, man. Good to fucking see you. I need to know when and where the low is right fucking now. Otherwise, I'm unsubscribing and I'm leaving, and I'm going to leave you some really mean and nasty comments because you didn't fucking tell me, you bastard. Fair enough. You're free to do this. But yeah, looking at Bitcoin here, a lot of technical damage on the higher term timeframes. And again, I'm saying this right now with a bias that Bitcoin is going to open up February, maybe the next week or two, on a bounce. I don't know if it's going to be exactly that long, but I'm just generally looking for a bounce here. All right, so first things first, where do we even want to start this one off? Okay, first let's actually discuss a little bit more about the bounce, because we do have other methods of getting the bounce targets. Here was a meta signal setup, which, by the way, the meta signals longs that have been firing off obviously in the past week have been doing absolutely terribly. Sometimes that happens in a streak, but understand it is over the long period of time where these stats do come to fruition and do come true. But yes, I do understand, there has been a lot of losses in a row. That's just a part of the game. It happens. There's also been times when there's been a lot of winners in a row as well. That shit happens too. They seem to come in strings, by the way. Anyways, as far as this one goes, this has fired off in a 2-hour time frame. It fired off at 76,250. I believe Metasignals posted this one on Twitter. And if you're not on Twitter, you can always just join their Discord for free, and they will actually give you some of the signals for free. Very few amount, obviously, because it is a fucking business after all. Like, it's not a charity. But that one fired off at 76,250, and first target has been met. That was 77,758. So more than $1,000 move right there, or $1,500 about. And that was a over 91.5% probability. That's pretty fucking good. Target number 2, significantly lower probability, but I actually do think it will get hit. That is 79,900 almost, with a 58.33% probability. Target number 3, I am less optimistic about, but that would be 84,150. Probability right there is basically 1/3, 33.33. So overall, I just dropped a mad emoticon on your chat. Oh God, I'm regretting my decisions now, sir. I am, man. I am. It brings tears to my eyes. It does. But yeah, as far as bounce targets and probabilities, that's what I'm looking at right there. Again, in alignment with Rev and Ribbons, but overall downside bias, as long as we're below the mid-band, that is, again, 86,500 or whatever. Moving on from there, let's talk about the major nasty things that have happened on the higher term timeframe since we have last spoken and a new month has opened. Well, over here on the monthly HPDR, I don't even know how to kind of look at it at this point, because how do I even look at you? How do I look at you with this face, or with this, because we're now between the 618 level and the 786 level, which is just fucking no man's land. This is a tremendously massive range between 64,000 on the low end and 96,000 on the upper end. I don't think we're going to be going to the upper end of this. If anything, the lower end should be a boundary for a big bounce if Bitcoin does get there. And there are good reasons to believe at some point, probably not in February, maybe not even in March, but later this year, we do see Bitcoin down low 60s, maybe even high 50s. First, we did see, of course, the monthly MACD, the old MACDRP, crossed the downside. Oh my God, I deleted my fucking lines. You idiot, Crown, you fucking moron. Oh God, how could you have possibly done this? All right, well, I'll just mark off all the previous times we've seen the monthly MAC derp cross to the downside. It's actually pretty simple because it's really only happened a few times in history, but whenever it has happened, it's led to a pretty obvious result. So I've just marked them all off now with these green vertical bars. And of course, we did see this happen back on over in November as well. And every time that we've seen this happen, you can see that Bitcoin has made its way down at minimum to the green moving average. That's a 55 EMA on the monthly time frame. Obviously, in the previous cycle, it did go even a little bit lower than that. But as of right now, that is where that is 63,000, almost 300. That will rise up with next month, obviously, but you know, that is a sort of magnet for price action, and I believe that it will be 100% solidified as a major target if and when the red 5 EMA crosses the yellow 21 EMA. Now, this might happen a little bit too late for it to, you know, for us to recognize, but we can using Caretaker's reverse moving average cross get the levels to figure out. Oh God. Hold on, I need to do this for the 5. Let's see. Okay, so I got 1 versus 5. 1 versus 5. Okay, let's see. Yeah, let's do it right here. There we go. Okay. So yeah, if Bitcoin closed out this month below 70,700, then yeah, I guess that gets initiated. Obviously, with each passing month, you know, that should draw closer, but it is inevitable. My point is that it is inevitable, whether it's this month or March. As long as Bitcoin's below $85,000, and personally speaking, I don't think that we're going to see a bounce above that number, at least on any sort of a you know, consistent basis to, you know, to close. On top of that, if we actually look at the, hold on, where was I going next? Let me get back to my notes. I just completely lost my train of thought. Excuse me. My bad. Yeah. When those two moving average crosses, yeah, 55 EMA, big target. Monthly MACD cross to the downside already kind of solidifies it. And of course, I do want to follow up on yesterday's signal. So yesterday I was using the LTI for my macro buyer here, which is designed to target macro lows in all these red circles, as you can see. This one actually just fired off its first buy signal right here. But before you fucking send weird shit in my messages, because that already has happened, just briefly mentioned it yesterday, I do want to acknowledge this first signal, the first signal on this macro buyer has never, ever, 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 ever been the low. However, it's been a very common percentage away from the low. So let's measure it out and figure it out together. So from this first low right here to the next major low, what was that? 20.5%. Interesting. Okay. This one over here actually was on the low. And in 2018, this one from there to the low was 20.5%. That's interesting. Let's go to the next one over here in 2014. First signal was right here. Next low is right here. Also losing 20%. Interesting. Very fucking interesting. Now, we don't really have any other iterations that operate in that fashion before that. Some of them were quite literally on the low, but when it comes to macro lows, macro lows after the parabolic blow off top, it has worked super consistently in that fashion. So let's see, what would 20% off of the current low for last week's closure look like in terms of price? 20% off puts Bitcoin where? Just below $61,000. That is very, very, very close to that green 55 EMA target right here on the monthly, also on the MACD crossover and the moving average crossover as well. And again, that's a minimum target, you know, so wicking a little bit below there is completely fine, still within the data set. Just don't want to see, you know, significant deviations from there on a closing basis. You know, in previous examples, we actually have gotten wicks that are very far away, but the settle of the close was not that bad. For example, this one right here, of course. This one came down 20% close over closure, but from close to wick low, that was about 37%. So that was, you know, much worse. So it's all about the closures here. And generally, I do think Bitcoin is seeing the majority of this downside already. I mean, of course, you know, we've already seen from high to low, 41% down. You know, what's another 20% down? Who gives a fuck? You know, at this point, we're all poor anyways. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. I'm joking, of course, but yeah. Anyways, moving on from there, if we do go back to the monthly HPDR, it is interesting, at least to me, that the 78.6 level is around low 60s as well. So I think in terms of Bitcoin timing a low, less than a year. I don't know. Maybe it's August, September, October. I think it'll probably be less than 1 year away from October. It's just a personal opinion based off of vibes, I guess. And then in terms of price, low 60s, high 50s, maybe like a closing low in the low 60s, but a wick down to like 55. It could be, I think I'd massively deviate from a lot of the perma bears or a lot of the newly found bears who need to call out massively nasty downside targets. Not that it's impossible. It's just not my first target. And, I think that there's a good chance that we'll see a low, somewhere around low 60s or high 50s. But that's going to take, probably many, many months to happen. And in the meantime, Bitcoin likely to bounce here. Like I said, Bitcoin's poised to bounce here, probably a little bit more than what it's already done. I think even the moons, or at least I was looking at the moon last night and it looked like a full moon to me. I can see it pretty well out here. What do you know? We did see a full moon, the bull moon, which did fire off. I believe that was, just yesterday. So fair enough. It looks like the vibes are high. I'm feeling the vibes, guys. I'm feeling very good vibes right now. That is in there. But yeah, like I said, Revenue Ribbons now officially on sale for the general public. Link in description below, of course. And then the LTI, I will actually raise the price at the end of this, at the end of the stream, which again, the LTI now includes both, of course, the LTI, which gives out my macro buying settings, as well as, just full customization for whatever the fuck you want to do, and also aggressive dip buyers too, and also traditional markets. And then, of course, the Pesto Fear and Greed Index as well. Those are going to be bundled up, and we are raising the price from $199 to $249, a whole $50 up. But yeah, it's been a month now, so I think we're good there. All right, cool. Let me take one sippy sip of this water. Very nice. Oh, here's a great question. You don't want no problem says, what up, Crown? What up? What's the lowest you can see Link going once Bitcoin is around 60K? You don't even want to know, sir. I'm actually genuinely curious. I know that there's a bunch of super chats above this, but I'm curious, man. Because I can't imagine Link or any of these shitcoins are looking too good right now. If Bitcoin's around 60, this thing's going to be around $5-6, I'd imagine. They're 50% down, something like that. But, just like Bitcoin probably bounces here. Like most things want to bounce a little bit here. That's fine. Just keep in mind, a bounce doesn't necessarily equate to a reversal until much later. Let me get rid of a few of these things. Okay. Cool. Let me get back to the super chats over here. Let's see what else has got lined up. A bunch of them already, actually. Peas is first. He says, hey, Crown, what's up, man? Mind checking out Litecoin weekly and monthly? Sure. It was actually a really big tell. I think it was like a few weeks ago when you called out Litecoin and Litecoin was rallying. I'm like, Litecoin rallying and Bcash rallying, these are usually bad signs. And what do you know? Litecoin takes yet another opportunity to fail. A test of the range highs yet again. Crazy. Or, well, not so crazy. That's just what it loves doing. It loves sucking. Give me old suck action for Litecoin. Suck. Suck it all up. Look, man, short term probably bounces a little bit. You are around the low from October, that really nasty spike low right here. So a lot of the time you'll get pity bounces from there. Maybe last week, maybe last 2 weeks. I don't fucking know. But long term, I do expect this thing to come back down probably around $30. Somewhere around there. That might be like 6 months away, but yeah, pretty ugly, man. Pretty fucking bad. It's even got a silver cross to the downside here too, after getting a one-off crossover here to the upside. That's usually the second cross is usually the big one. So yeah, not good, man. Again, short-term bounce, long-term terrible. Mr. Steven Schickman is back. He's looking at MSTZ. I'm guessing it's doing very well. Oh yeah. Well, kind of. This is what makes it so difficult. It's like Bitcoin's going down, but this thing isn't necessarily going up that much. You have to be bullish on this, I guess, but it is these 2x bears or 2x bulls are just very difficult due to the way that they're situated. But I guess I'm bullish as long as you're above $15.5. I think that you might reconnect with $15.5. And then from there, if I'm looking for a continuation, I'm looking probably around like 23, 24, 25 region. So that's a big move from where you're at right now. That's like a 50% move almost. That would obviously correlate with MicroStrategy breaking down significantly. So let's see what that looks like over here. Yeah, pretty ugly here for MicroStrategy, but should bounce up and reconnect with like 160. I'm very surprised to see it. Yeah. God, is it really just going to slice right through the 200 simple in the first pass? That would be pretty pathetic. You just don't see that too often. I do think that it rallies up a little bit more, like 155 to 160. If it's going to get rejected there, that would be where it gets rejected, I guess. I would still be cautious. So, I mean, coming off the 200 simple, it's just a lot of the time you're going to get a pretty big bounce from there. So, yeah, I kind of not a great analysis on that one. I do apologize, but it's the best that I can do for right now because it is throwing me for a little bit of a loop between those two. Those 2x bears, 2x bulls, 3x, 5x, whatever the fuck, they're all very difficult in my opinion. You can be right on your general analysis, but wrong on how those things actually trade. Zeta rejecting the range highs we spoke about last week. Yes, it's opened up this week on a bounce, might even bounce a little bit more towards 19.5, $20, but overall, I think that this thing wants to come back down to the bottom side of the range. That's a clear and obvious rejection from the top side of the range. Next target's like 17.25, probably a small bounce attempt there. And then if that one fails, which, that might be like a couple of months out, probably looking towards the bottom side of the range, not necessarily bearish long-term, but, comes down to like 14, $15 before it really consolidates this range enough to try for a real move to the upside. So perhaps something like this, basically. By the way, this past weekend, I actually met up with Crypto Face. Fucking love this guy. Holy shit, he's great. He's amazing. He's like a real life fucking Jack Sparrow. This guy. He's nothing at all what I expected him to be honest with you. He is exactly as he is on YouTube. What you see is what you fucking get. For some reason, I thought that he was like super young, like in his mid-20s or something, but he's not. And he has some very epic hair as well, I'll say. Really enjoyed eating dinner with him, man. That guy is fucking great. But yeah, something like this perhaps. Short term might carry on with a little bit more on that bounce, but I don't think that this bounce is going to bring it back up towards those highs. If it could reclaim last week's high at $22.50, or sorry, maybe that's just 2 weeks ago's high at $22.50 on a weekly closing basis, I actually could flip around and say, no, this thing's ready to break out now. I don't think that's what's happening, but always needing a validation, of course. Anyways. Hey, Krong, you read any Epstein files about Bitcoin and development? Interested in your thoughts if you have read it yet? I haven't. I actually just asked the question on Twitter because I don't want to read that shit, man. It's depressing, so I'm not fucking reading that. Great by Hype says correlation Bitcoin versus Nvidia, Google on the weekly before breakout. Nah, man, I'm not playing this game. I think it's silly. I mean, look, you can look at this kind of stuff. I don't look. If you look for patterns and things, it's like looking for ghosts. If you want to believe, you will find one. You will find it. Is there a pattern here that resembles Bitcoin from September 2024? Let's even find out where that is. Okay, so that's. I'm sorry, man. I don't see this even one bit. Like this. Okay, like this price action over here. From a major moving average perspective, it is absolutely nothing even remotely like that on Bitcoin right now, right? I mean, you're talking about this price action right here versus Bitcoin right here. Again, man, if you want to believe in ghosts, you're going to believe in ghosts. You know what I mean? It's just not even helpful. It's like something did something like this a long time ago, which is in no way, shape, or form related to Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of looks like that right now. Maybe Bitcoin does that. No, Bitcoin's doing something completely different over here as far as I'm concerned. The only way to even equate these things is from looking at moving averages or just indicators in general. That's how you would get sort of like a similar standardized way of seeing what's going on right there. And this just not the same, man. The weekly for Nvidia got nowhere near the 200 simple on that, on that move. I mean, it got off like the 21, I think. Bitcoin's significantly below right now. In fact, completely different in my opinion. So yeah, man, in my opinion, these sort of things, and I understand some people love fractals and whatnot. And hey, look, if you're trading fractals and you're making shit tons of money, more power to you. I'm very happy for you. That's awesome. My experience though, is that it's a whole lot of, I don't want to offend some people because I do know some people who use it who I really like, and I feel like they might take offense if I say this, but at the same time, I don't think it fucking works, man. I think you're going to see what you want to see, and there's a lot of confirmation bias there, and there's no way to standardize things, and that's why personally I love using indicators, because you get an objective, mathematically based output, which is not perfect, obviously, but at least you can compare apples to apples. Whereas fractals, you're just like, it looks like this. Like, okay, ask another person if it looks like that. They're not going to think so, maybe. I mean, that's the problem. It's just not objective, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, if you're using it and you're having success, don't listen to what the fuck I'm saying. All good. All good. How about the signal from yesterday? What are you talking about? are you talking about this? I think I've explained this one a few times, but yeah, the signal has populated. That still means Bitcoin is likely to go 20% down more. So I don't know what to tell you, man. some people just hear what they're going to hear, I guess. What's up, Kong on YouTube? How you doing, man? Been a long time. Straight Path says, good morning, sir. Iron, weekly, monthly. Is it going back to $30? Maybe. Who knows? We shall look at it now. Or let me go to this chart. Or no, this chart over here would be ideal. There we go. Okay. Not bad. I think it's done going to the upside for right now. Oh, is it going to $30? No, I actually think that the LARP lines are still the more appropriate play right here. Something like this, where it comes down probably around 40, 41, but that's still a higher low. $30 is quite far away. I'd only really be looking for $30 if it lost 40. And at that point, yeah, you know, $30 and probably breaks down, but I'd give it a benefit of the doubt here, man. As long as you got higher lows, it is objectively bullish, and you know, this is okay. It's not bad. Yeah, below about 40-ish, let's say 40, 41, 42 region on a weekly closing basis, then yeah, I guess it could get bearish for a move like that. But until then, this just looks like a reaccumulation at a high level right now, which is good. So don't have a reason to hate it just yet. I could change my mind on that one for sure, but for right now, no, it would actually not be. It would not be my target. No. Mad Mining's. I do think it has some short-term downside. Again, just don't think. I don't think it's going down that far. Mad Mining says CRML. Okay, new one for me, I think. Critical Metals Corporation. Late to the party on this one, I think, man. Yeah, same rejection at the exact same level as your October rally. I think LARP lines need to be adjusted a little bit down here, something like this, man. I think at some point you're going to see this thing back down around about $10, which is a big move for this. But if that's a higher, I mean, that could still be a higher low. So, you know, long term it could be bullish, but I just don't think that you're going to the upside exactly from here. It's playing out a range, rejected the range highs. I think you come down to the range lows. If that's in a higher low, then I'd be bullish from there, but not right now. I think short term downside. USAR for 1236N. USAR, this is rare earth minerals. Nice. It looks like my rejection happened a little bit earlier than anticipated before, but that's okay. LARP lines are just that. They're LARP lines. Same thing here, though. You know, you reject the range highs, you're probably going to come back down closer to the range lows, maybe like 17, you know, bucks, somewhere around there for this thing, and then tries maybe another move to the upside. Not necessarily bad. It's just not ready right now. Short term, yeah, I expect this thing to come down around 17 to 20 bucks, try for a higher low somewhere in that pocket there, then maybe try one more move to the upside. But not bad long term, at least not yet. I'd only get bearish on this thing long term if you came back down below about 16 or so, started settling below there. Freddie M 9579 says LMT daily weekly run 15% in the next month or two. I think last week looked at it was like really good, so let's see. Yeah, is it going to run like 15%? Well, that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty large for a stock like this, but I am bullish on it. That's for sure. Let's see. I do have targets up here on the breakout. I think $700 is the next major one. So that's actually a 10% move from where you are right now. 765 would be my next, would be my one after that. And I think that has a pretty high likelihood of getting hit. I don't know if it's in the next couple months, though. That might be like in the next 6 months or next year. I don't fucking know the timing of it. But I would be probably looking for this one here. And then there's still a possibility for like an 850 tick as well. But, you know, these ones, very, very high probability. Above there, we'd probably want to come back to it. But it ain't happening anytime soon anyways. So it's like, don't need to worry about that at this exact moment. You're also looking at CVX, same question. All right, a lot of, I need to pay rent and I need 15% or more. Yeah, we looked at this one in last week as well. It's pretty good and I'm still bullish on it. Yeah, I think that you might have a pullback to open up this month somewhere around like 170 or so, but that would be, in my opinion, an opportunity. I think that this thing's going to retest those highs. Is it going to be this month or next month? I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know the timing of this, but I would generally be looking for this thing to continue up past $200, you know, more long term. Does it happen this month? Probably not. I think first move is down, then you try some upside. Lutfi is back. She says, do I have your permission to short hype? I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You don't need my permission for nothing. But let's find where the Now, where is the chart? XC maybe? Is that what I want to go to? Doesn't seem right to me. No, that's right. Yeah, that's what it looks like. What I want to short right here, I think it, you can, but I'd be worried that there might be an official test to the 200 simple on the daily before it like truly breaks down, and that might put you in a bit of a hurt, because that could be a move to like 37, 38 bucks, which is what? That's, it's like a 15, 20% move from where you are right now. So that's your risk on a move like this. I think you're generally going to be run on the direction. It's just, is it ready right now? That I'm not so certain about. I would be very cautious here, because you could easily get another 10 to 20% move higher, basically. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. I think you'll be right long term. I don't know if right now is the best timing for it, at least. If it is, you'll know, and I'd actually feel a lot better about if I had to trade this thing, which I'm not. If I had to take a position, I would actually, and it had to be short, either I'd short from higher, or I'd short on any sort of a breakdown below 27.44. Both of those I'd be equally happy to do, but not right. I don't like the position right here. It might very well work out from right there, but I'd rather short it on the confirmed breakdown rather than right here, because I do think you might be in for that move a little bit higher, and that would be shitty to kind of sit through. So just personal opinion. Assy says, love that borrow conviction. Yeah. Actually, to be honest, I learned the borrowing conviction line from Raul Pal, which, people have all sorts of ideas on him. And look, sometimes he's a hero, sometimes he's a villain, depending upon, when you started to listen to him or anything like that. But one line that he said that really stuck with me was, you can't borrow conviction from people on the internet. And that's exactly right. You can't. Just like it's the same reason why, like, I can give out strategies on YouTube. I don't really need to worry about my edge diminishing, because even if I get a strategy, like, it doesn't mean that people are going to play it properly. It's actually kind of funny how that works. So like, the more and more that I've just released, the more and more that I've realized really has no effect, honestly. But yeah, you don't want to borrow conviction from people, because at the end of the day, you need to have your own reasons and your own setups, so that when push comes to shove, when shitty things happen, you know why you're involved, rather than, oh, someone somewhere said something. Just my opinion. Freddie M9579 says, what are your top three bullish stocks in the short term? What a fucking, oh my God, dude, seriously. Someone asked this in the Discord the other day too. It just made me like wanted to punch myself in the fucking face. My most bullish stocks. I'm not like watching the whole market, man. There's going to be many things that have screaming fucking rallies in the next, what does even short term mean to you? I don't fucking know. I don't know, in the next few weeks, but I'm probably not watching them. I don't know. Is there anything off the top of my head? I like the Chevron chart. I like the LMT chart. Am I involved in them? No, I'm not. But I think that they're doing, those ones were legitimately set up for breakouts. Are they going to be the biggest winners in the next short term? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know, man. There's no way to answer that properly. Again, can't borrow conviction from people. Generally bullish in traditional markets, so don't know which ones are the fastest horses right now. Sequoia says, thoughts on SNFK pump? Too late to get in or on it? I don't know. Maybe this is going to be the next biggest winner in the short term. Well, apparently it's not on TradingView, man, so I can't look at it. This must be like some random shitcoin, huh? SNFK? SNFK. Yeah, I have that spelled properly. Yeah, too late to get it. It might be too late to get on it, because it's no longer available. It's no longer available, man. Don't want no problem says, wait, no, I already read that. Yeah. Okay. Big D bad. Big D bad. Big dick bad. Okay. Netflix on the daily, please, sir. No problem. Big dick bad. Netflix. Let's see it. If we can load it. Bad. I do have it bouncing relatively soon. Oh yeah, you're on this prior low here. It looks super fucking weak to me. It really wouldn't take too much to get this thing on a bounce. Long term is very bad, very ugly. I'm still inclined to say that you're more likely to bounce back up to like $90 and then fail instead of go significantly below like 80, what is that? What is the price action pivot here? $82. 82 bucks is a big line in the sand. I think that you probably test that on this move if you haven't already. Oh, it did over here. Maybe test it one more time, then try for a bounce and then fail later. It'd kind of be a lot to just fail from here, man. I mean, yeah, it looks like absolute shit, so it very likely does. And long term, I feel very confident it's going to get all the way down to like 71, 70, or sorry, somewhere around $70, give or take, you know, a buck or two from that number. Yeah, short term, do I think it bounced? I mean, maybe, you know, again, it's just almost always you get a pity bounce from, you know, previous major lows. Like April of last year was a big one for many things. It's still overall bearish. It's just, is this thing really just going to slide down and cut through all the way to like $70 from here? I'd be inclined to say you're probably going to get a bounce first, but long term the direction is the same. Whether I'm right or wrong about a bounce, long term the destination is very likely the same. That's what I feel a lot more confident about, man. Let's see, Scott. Sorry, Crypto Daddy 420 and 6 says Kiev 4-hour daily. Oh, you must be the only person still looking at crypto shitcoins, huh? Oh wait, is that how you spell it? KYIV. Oh, it's not a shitcoin. It's some stock. All right. Not great either, unfortunately. I do think you might extend the rally a little bit more towards $12 or like a little bit above 12, like 12.10. But I'd be looking for rejections there. Long term, I think that this thing comes back down. But short term, probably a little bit more on this rally above like 12 bucks or so, like a little bit above, and then come back down. Yeah, not a fan of this one long term, at least for the history that we have, which is kind of minimal, but this is generally not good. Not good. If you're on a 4-hour though, I mean, 4-hour, yeah, bounce it up a little bit past 12 bucks. Come back to it after that. I guess it's probably not relevant to you for the long term there. If you're asking about a 4-hour, so all good, man. Aiden 6122 says RKT stock, medium term. Bought the May 22 calls. Okay. RKT. All right. Rocket Company. You bought the May 22 calls. I really don't know on this one. Because technically this would be the place to look for a higher low if it is going to be bullish, in which case your May 22 calls are probably okay. I don't know how much you paid for them. I fear to ask. You know, that is pretty far out, so your premium might be pretty ridiculous. But if it's not bullish, then you're very fucked because next stop on this thing is going to be down to like 13 bucks or so. I mean, there will be bounce along the way, obviously, but yeah, a difficult one here for me because if you want to be like, if you are bullish, this should be the next higher low right here, no lower. It should be above about 1680 on a daily closing basis. So I would run personally, if I was in that position, which I'm not a humongous fan of, I don't like buying naked premiums. But if I was, I'd be using 1680 on a daily closing basis to manage risk. As long as you're above there, I'm bullish, and I guess I hold your position. But again, I just think buying premium is just such a fucking loser's game. I'm not calling you a loser, but just in general, like people really don't understand how these things work. If you're bullish on something, buy the underlying. Do not buy fucking calls. Just like if you're bearish on something, sell it short. Don't fucking buy puts. Or at least if you're going to buy premiums, if you're going to buy calls or puts, always times a million more, do something else with another leg, whether that be with the underlying stock or with another call, or sorry, with just another option on the other side. That is going to be the way to do it. If you just buy naked premiums, you might as well go try to play the lottery because you're going to have about the same success there. It's just garbage, man. It's just garbage. But I understand why people do it. You know, it requires less equity than just buying straight up spot underlying long, but you're not going to make as much money. You are better off buying the underlying if you are bullish. Just straight up. If you are actually right on direction, you will make a lot more money doing that over the long term. Big D Bad is back. He's looking at UNH on the daily. Sure. This one is one that I was seeking out a position a long time ago. I ended up not getting it, and I've kind of forgotten about it ever since. Long term, I think that you will come back down to 230. So if I do want to buy it, I think I could get that price again. But in the short term, does it try for a bounce to open up this month, as most things are likely going to do? I think it very well might. Maybe back around 300 even. But I'd be looking for a rejection there. That would be a pretty obvious sell, in my opinion. I'm bearish on this thing in the short term as long as you're below 350. Just long term, do I think that you're going to put in a bottom at the monthly 200 simple? Well, shit, man. If I want to be a long term investor, that's a great place to be doing it if I'm bullish on the long term. And I don't know, this thing's okay, I guess. So personally, I'll probably put a little bit of money to work on that. I mean, I have an alert right here. I'll probably put a little bit of money to work there if it does get down around there. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it's come off like more than 50% from the highs. Yeah, that's okay with me if it's going to be a long-term hold. You don't want no problems. He's back in. He says, "What's up, Crown? How low do you see Solana going when Bitcoin is in the 60s?" All right, so let's assume Bitcoin to $60,000 at some point in this year is a correct call. What would we expect for Solana? Well, at that point, Solana is going to break below the April 2025 lows. From there, it's kind of all air until about 80, and even that doesn't matter that much. I'd imagine somewhere back down around like 40 to $50. Just kind of guessing it. Basically, if Bitcoin comes down to like 60,000 or whatever, you're going to see most shitcoins crash anywhere between 40 to 60% from here. Something like that. But Solana, just like most other things, just like Bitcoin, wants to bounce here, wants to bounce short term. So I don't think taking a short at this exact moment is wise, to be honest. So yeah, just, to temper some expectations there. Oh yeah, and I should probably update on my own options positions. Completely forgot to talk about this earlier. My apologies. Where was it? Yeah, my bear call spread. This is straight money. Gonna lock in that full profit. I'm just gonna let this one expire. I'm gonna sell off these long calls here later today, so I'm gonna get rid of this part. Let's get rid of that. I'll just take small loss on that and lock in the max profit over here on the on the short calls. I'll just let those expire. Worthless. I don't think Bitcoin's going above $100,000 in the next 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks, I guess. What was the next thing I was doing? Yeah, the short calls. I did sell naked $95,000 call strike 20 times. This one should also be pure profit as well. 12,700 hopefully going in my pocket by February 27. Yeah, don't really have any reason to adjust these. Should I have bought puts? I don't know. Didn't really like the premium on them, so I'm gonna go with no. Let's see. Hey, all good, Arjen. CSCO, okay. CSCO, this Cisco, yeah. I remember this from like way back. Oh, sorry, I actually skipped a couple of people. My apologies. I will do this one really quickly, but I did skip 2 people. I apologize for that. Really good. For the person who asked earlier about top 3 bullish stocks, well, this one's pretty fucking good. Breaking new all-time highs. Yeah, you just had a higher low right here at the 21 EMA on hidden bullish divergence. It's just textbook shit, right? Where do I think it's going? I think you're going to see 86 bucks, good target, and then 90 big targets for me. I think it probably goes past there as well, but those would be like my next major areas of interest. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Bullish, especially as long as you're above like 75 bucks. So just let it do its thing, sir. Let it do its thing. Arib says, good morning, Crown in all capitals. Good morning. GameStop. 4-hour, 12-hour, daily, 3-day, 5-day, weekly. Thank you and love. Okay, is there any time frames that we missed? To be fair, it kind of does want to rally a little bit here. Wasn't expecting that. Short term probably does continue the rally, maybe a little bit more towards like 26.20, 26 and a quarter, something like that. Weekly. You don't have hit. Oh yeah, you do have potential for hidden bearish divergence. So probably does put in another lower high here. At least that's always going to be my disposition in a downtrend when you do have potential for hidden bearish divergence, because this high, or sorry, the current weekly RSI is higher than September's high. So unless if it really gets past 28.5 bucks on this rally, which I don't think that it will, but if it does, that negates it and actually confirms reversal. But for now, short term probably extends it a little bit more. As long as you're below 28.5, though, I'm pretty bearish. Hopefully, I mean, there is some signs of life here, to be honest, though. I would confirm bearishness below 23.5 bucks. Until then, short term extends the rally a little bit more. If you see it come back down below 23 or so, then I get very bearish on it. My bias is bearish on this, but it's not actually validated that much by the chart right now. So I'm heavily heavily possible to be wrong on this one. RR for Rich Tech Robotics for Chris Vella. What's up, man? Yeah, so this one did not clear above my monthly level here at 480 to confirm a real major massive breakout. With the projection right there, I do have to expect another retest of the lows, somewhere around $3 even, to maybe even as low as 280, somewhere down around here. So yeah, the invalidation did happen on last month's closure. It is what it is. Go back to the drawing board, and I do believe next move is going to be down. I've capitulated on my position. I might reposition lower if it, if I like it down there, but for now, I just want to let it do its thing. Yeah, I don't want any risk on this one. I think initially I got in at 330, so I guess I lock in like a very small profit, but at the end of the day, it was nothing. Like I was in 2x for a moment there, or sorry, close to 2x for a moment there. So yeah, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. But yeah, next move very likely to the downside. Again, it's just classic play. Reject the range high, come back down to the range low. It's okay. Anyways, what else we got? What else do we have? We have Big D Bat. SNDK on the daily one more time. Okay, SNDK. Do I have that right? Yeah, SanDisk. Is this a computer component company? Why do I know them? Yeah, they must be. Oh yeah, computer peripherals. Yeah, there we go. Really good. Look, it's a parabolic rally. You can kind of expect the same thing as gold here. I don't know how much it goes higher. This is relatively minimal history here for a chart, so I don't really know much what to make of it. I'd say the same thing as gold, like into the last, couple months of its rallies. Like I'm bullish here, have to be bullish here, but beware when it does top. Expect something like gold. It's going to be like a crash and move to the downside in a very short amount of time. But for now, probably gets to $700. I'm not really going off of much though. There's just not much to go off of here. Volatility isn't even that extreme on a daily time frame, so I think that's kind of a good sign for at least another week or two of this rally. But like I said, when it tops, it's going to be fucking fast. It's going to take no prisoners. Probably get to $700 or close to $700 first. It's a very difficult one here. I have to be bullish on it. At the same time, I also want to acknowledge don't know how much longer you got on this one. I would say even below last Friday's low of 533 would validate a major high for me. But you're well above there right now, and this is still bullish, still likely to continue on with the rally. So that's what I'd say about that, man. Cool. All right, what else we got? Yes, Plonker, Mr. Plonker. Good morning, man. Microsoft Daily, Weekly, Monthly, sure. MSFT. Whoops, there we go. All right. Down. This one doesn't want to bounce with everything else. It still might bounce intra-week here to like 440. If it does, that's fine. I still think downside is more likely overall. It's just like, does it want to bounce or not? I personally am going to set some alerts at about $400 because I actually do want long-term exposure on this thing. $400 is gonna be the first area that I consider to buy. That is just the major gap here from April of last year, and between there and about 370, the green 55 right here is kind of where I'd be interested in perhaps creating a long-term investment strategy. Then again, I go to the quarterly. I'm like, what the fuck am I thinking, bro? Doesn't look too hot right there. Multiple drives of bearish divergence, and that's generally gonna have a target somewhere down around like 370. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic here. Yeah, 6-month time frame too. Pretty ugly. 6 month. It's like I'm not even surprised if this thing goes to like 300 or 350. Hard one, man. Yeah, weird. It's not going to bounce with everything else. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. It might try to go to 450 first and then down. But long term, I think the direction is the same. The real question is how far down does it go? I'm inclined to say at least $400, maybe as low as 350. Or I think if things get really nasty, then you see the 6-month time frame play out, and then you get 300 or 330 or whatever. So it's a long way down. I don't think it's going to bottom at 400, so I probably won't put any money to work there. But maybe like 370, 380 is where I'll start to do a little bit, even though I kind of do expect this one to go lower though. Yeah. The more I look at it, the higher term time frame, it's like, yeah, could get very nasty there. Maybe I don't do it at all. I'll have to think a little bit more about that one. All right. Cloud Debussy says RTX on Nicey. Sure. RTX. Okay. Oh, it's Raytheon. Daily, weekly, please up, down, or sideways on the daily or the weekly. Overall, it wants up. Overall, it's bullish. Overall, very good. In the short term, though, is it going to head straight to the upside from here? No, it's in a short-term consolidation. I think short-term, you probably even come down a little bit. Maybe try for a higher low at 195-ish. Weekly, still bullish overall. If it does take out last week's low at 193, then you kind of have a problem. And I would be looking for a correction down to like 180, 182 region. Still bullish long term, but you know, that would be a significant move to the downside. Generally, I'm going to be bullish on this, you know, but similar to gold, it's like, it's a pretty fucking epic rally, man. It's gone from 70 to $200 in a vertical fashion since October of 2023. So it's like, how much longer do you have of this? Maybe a month, maybe 3 months. I don't think it's that much longer though. I don't think it's that much longer. So like I said, maybe reconnects with like 188 to 190, tries for a continuation of the rally there. Probably gets past 200 at some point, maybe like 220, but I don't think that in terms of time, it has that much longer to go. You're getting quarterly extremes here on BBWP. I just not wise to be looking for that much more, in my opinion, even though I think you probably got one more push, I guess. You know, you've already got to 205. What's another, what's one more push? What's one more little pushy push? Yeah, 'cause this doesn't really look like a macro high to me right here. I think you probably do a quick consolidation, try one more move, and then if it's going to top, you know, then you come down hard. So I would say very, very short term, sideways and down, but not that much down. Long term, one more up. Below, what was it, 180? Where's my line in the sand? Well, just last month's low is probably good enough. That's 182. Yeah, below 182, I guess I get bearish. Something like that. Ray now says, good morning, Eric. What's up, man? Hope you're having a good day as well, sir. I believe XMR on the weekly is fucked. Well, that's a good analysis. Let's see. Last we looked at it, it was getting fucked, and indeed, I agree. It is indeed fucked. What do you know? At the last fucking second, on the last day of the last month, it fails whatever potential breakout it had, and down. Got pretty close to that implied move here. Pretty much all happened over the course of like, what, 2 weeks? Jesus, man. Got to be fast on these things. Otherwise, you get left in the dust. Yeah, I agree. Probably just sideways and down from here, back down to like $300. Something like that, man. Wow. Really ugly there. Really fucking ugly. Bearish divergence here too. Yeah, I think you're just generally going sideways and down from here. Somewhere to like low 300s, come back to it after that. Yeah, I agree. You're looking for a short position at 425. I mean, look, I would like that as well. Or actually, I think you got your chance already this morning. You got 422. I think if that's what you're looking for, I think that was it right there, man. I think I see what you're going after as well. Just a test of that red 5 EMA on the daily. It's a fair play. Pretty much how I would have done it as well. I don't know. You might get one more try around that region, maybe slightly higher, but yeah, I agree with you. I think that you're on the right side of the trade there overall. Great White Hype is back. He's looking at Cava, Chipotle-like play. Wait, what? How have we been living here now for 3 months, Elsa, and you haven't gone to Chipotle fucking once, and there's one right around the corner? Pathetic. What a waste. What a waste. Very bad. Hidden bearish divergence on a lower high on a rejection of the green 55 EMA. Textbook, and textbook. It's down. It's coming down. It's bad. Chipotle going to the ground. Your fucking burritos are going to get even more expensive, even though your stock is sucking, or whatever the hell this thing is. Kaba? I don't know. Yeah, man. I hate it. I hate it. I hate everything about this chart. It's bad. It's really bad. I don't know what the Chipotle-like play is, but if it means that it's going down for a long time, then I'd agree. Or maybe Chipotle went up a lot, and that's what the hopium is here. I wouldn't be looking at anything resembling a fucking reversal as long as you're below $72. There is absolutely no reason at all whatsoever to even be thinking the word reversal. Like, it's not even a part of the fucking conversation. It's just, this is garbage. Fucking garbage chart. This is a shitcoin chart. That's what it is. Magical Poop, or Magical Pop 207 says, hey, Crown, did your buy signal on Bitcoin hold? I've explained this a couple times already, but in case you did miss it, oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, my bad. Yes, the strong buy signal did go in there. As I said before, that is not a call to action to buy. Every time we've gotten this, things have gone lower by about 20%. So I look at it as a signal of like long-term hopium that we're not going to see like a tremendously nasty downside move from here. You know, maybe there is a wick into like the low 50s or something, but I think the next major low will settle in low 60s. So about 20% away from last week's closure, something like that. So yeah, it did go in there, but like I said, just like this signal over here, this was 20% down from here to here. And again, wicks were lower. I'm going off of closures here. Over here, 20% down from here to here. Wicks were a little bit lower. Same thing over here from close to close, 20% down. Wick was significantly lower on this one, I should add. But yeah, something like that, man. Something like so. Chipotle is for people who can't afford a can of refried beans. Oh, I thought you said it for people who can't open a can of refried beans. Refried beans, very, very disgusting, sir. Very gross. Even the name is gross. Refried? First off, fried is bad, and then refried? Like, what the fuck? I ain't eating that shit. Give me real beans, and don't even give me beans at all, man. It's, like, can't digest that shit. Like, how about some rice? That's good. Big D Bad says, MP Minerals, daily, please. Sure. MP Materials. Short term, you got a local high. Or, God damn it, I did it again. Let me go back to my stonk chart. What was it? Yeah, MP Materials. Oh, you did say MP Materials, and I, for some reason, thought minerals because I'm a redact. Rejected the top side of the range. I think you're coming back down to $50 over the next week or two, but I'm not necessarily bearish on it. I might even be wrong about $50 as well, by the way. I'm not bearish on this. Whether it goes up from here or whether it corrects first down here and then goes up, I don't know. But I am not necessarily bearish on it. Yeah, I can tell you where I get bearish on it. It would be below last month's low, 49.25. 49.25 below there on a weekly closing basis. Yeah, I could get bearish, but for right now, I think it's corrective move and then another try to the upside. I actually like the way that the monthly settled. It did hold on to that red 5 EMA. To me, that's a good long-term signal for continuation, but short-term, I think that you do correct a little bit. I don't know, whether it's like 54 or maybe all the way down to, what was it, like 50 even. I don't know, but I'll be looking at those two numbers as relevant. And again, below last month's low, then yeah, it's wrecked. But until then, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. Cloud Debussi says PWR on NICE weekly and monthly. Is it ready for new all-time highs? Who knows? It might be ready for it. It doesn't mean that it's going to do it though. Yeah, I think so, man. This looks pretty good. Hidden bullish divergence in that last higher low. It's been poking a few holes in the above that top side boundary. If you do get a correction early month here, I'd be looking at like 455, 456 region. But overall, yeah, I think that it is ready for new highs. I'm bullish on this. Don't know how much more long it has to go, but I think that you got some new highs first before any sort of a major highs put in. You know, the last 1, 2, 3, 4 months was a consolidation. It's being resolved right now in February. Probably got another month or two, I'd imagine. Something like that, man. What else we got? Oh, we got some more shitcoins here. Evil Gargoyle with Swords. Sir, CC USDT. Canton Net. Actually, I remember this one was good. So let's see. Yeah, still good, I suppose. Cautiously optimistic as long as you're above about 15.5 cents. Just be looking up and to the right. I guess we could get an implied target for this or just area of interest. And I suppose that'd be like 21, 22 cents. And if things get crazier from there, maybe like a quarter. This would be the areas I'd be watching. it's always difficult to be bullish on a shitcoin when, you know, most things are going down, but it is doing what it's doing, so fair enough. Doggy coin, can't imagine it's doing too hot. Yeah, back around 10 cents. Similar to Bitcoin, it's like, I think you might bounce a little bit more here, maybe like 11, 12 cents. I think best case scenario is 13 cents on a bounce, but long term, the direction is the same. It's down. It's down and it's down and it's down some more. Long term, I'm looking for this thing to get down to 6 cents. So whether it bounces here or not is kind of irrelevant in my opinion. Long term, it wants to come down, sir.
You missed one. Can you
All right. Palantir for Rupin. Sure. All right. PLTR. Last look at this one, it was bouncing a bit. Let's see how it's holding up here. Yeah, quarterly is weird to me. Well, it's looking quite toppy, honestly. Actually, I'm gonna make a note to sell this. Yeah, we've had a good run in Palantir. I think it's time to sell a bit. I do think that it rallies up a little bit in this month, maybe as much as like 155, 160. But I personally will be looking to offload some of my shares there. Maybe not all of them, but definitely some of them. I do think that this thing is getting ready for a bigger move to the downside, close to like 120, maybe even all the way down to like $90 or so. I mean, here's a quarterly. You know, I wish we had more price action history because it's not like super helpful right there. Monthly, I think, is kind of ugly. Yeah, I think you'll get to like 120 at least on a downside move, and it could get worse from there. But I'd at least look for that. You know, that could be considered a reconnect on the yearly chart, which probably does happen on this move somewhere around there. So like 120 to 100. I'd be more interested in repositioning down around there because I do like it long term. I just don't like it right here. I just don't like it right here. All right. Let's see. Plonker says thoughts for Microsoft. I think we looked at this one earlier, actually. All right, we'll do Apple then, guys. Just one chat at a time. Like otherwise, people put in like fucking 10 of them, and it's just not fair. It's not fair to everyone else, you know, especially. I like the higher low right here on the weekly hidden bullish divergence. I think this one heads back up to like 270, 275 region. Might even just continue on with the overall mega rally. Very possible. So overall long-term bullish chart. So yeah, hard to hate that on Apple. There's obviously a very, 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 very obvious reversal point for the short term. That's below 240 on a weekly closing base. That's where I get bearish for a big move down to like 215-ish, somewhere around there. But until then, I'm just bullish here, just following the trend. No problem there. Monero, daily, weekly, gayest breakout in history. Yeah, we already looked at that one. If by gayest you mean it's failing, then yeah, I agree. It is failing. It is failing. And I think we identified that last week, you know, when it started to crash back down below that breakout point. It's like, all right, classic shitcoin behavior, right? Chris Bell is looking at MicroStrategy and MST. My man, we looked at both of these already, just so you know. Yeah, I'm only doing one. I'm not gonna do two. Like, don't get fucking greedy with this shit. MicroStrategy. I'll look at MicroStrategy because I didn't look at that one like fully. Comparison to MSTZ. You know, if you bounce up to like 160 this month, that's kind of a sell, I guess. Overall, this thing wants to come down. Wouldn't be surprised to see it at some point in the next, let's say, 3 to 6 months at around 80 to $90. I do think it's coming down around there. I'm only bullish on this thing if it pops back up above $200, and even then, that's, I don't know if bullish is the right term, but it's kind of my line in the sand right now. Yeah, ugly, just pretty. I'm not even involved in this fucking stock, and I'm like, that's depressing. You can't get a big bounce off of the 200 simple on the weekly. That almost never happens, man. That almost never fucking happens. Kind of crazy, man. What's up, Lee? Yes, indeed. 2026, year of the bear. The gay bear, indeed. Gay for TA. Oh, yes, my man. Oh, yes, indeed. Daryl Case is Powell, or POWL. Sure. Let's see, we'll run the stream a little bit longer, and then we'll probably shut it off. But if you do correct this month, I'd be looking towards like 410. I'm not bearish on it. Just if you do come down, I'm not so confident that you will. Just if That would be my area of interest for a higher low. I'm trying to look for some obvious here. I'm not really seeing it. Overall, I have to be bullish on this thing, man. It is a pretty crazy chart. I do think that you're going to see some highs in probably this quarter. It might not even have the high in. This one's difficult, man. This one's difficult. Let's see. Has it hit any of the major targets here off of this formation? Let's see. So it hit the 1618. I guess if you have one more move to the upside, I'd be looking at 530. Maybe something like that and then down. But I do think that most of this rally is done. Most of the rally is done. And again, if you're just joining in, I should let you know that the Rev and Ribbons indicator is now, or the Rev and Ribbons suite, actually, which comes with the RMO and the RWP, is now live. It's found in the link in the description below for Teachable. You can try it out for 7 days free. As always, we offer 7-day free trials for pretty much everything, because why buy before you try? At the end of the day, it's like buying a fucking car, man. Do you go in there and buy your fucking car without test driving it? No, of course not. You go and test drive it. Duh. Or your ladies. Test drive them too. I do not believe in sex before marriage. It's happening. Oh yes, it's happening. As the great Ismo said, oh, I can assure you it's, I've seen it. It's happening. It's really happening over there. Big D is looking at Coinbase. Sure. CoinDerp over here. Whoops, wrong chart. Let's go to this one. Although I guess we could kind of look at it on that one. Yeah, bad, ugly, very ugly, but probably should bounce here at 190. That was one of our major downside targets, and I would imagine it tries something resembling a bounce there. I mean, for fuck's sake, this thing has been on a complete slide to the south side ever since October, just down only. So you're coming off of some major moving averages now, 190 and then also 170. So anywhere in this pocket here, I'd be looking for a bounce, but I mean, it's got to bounce there if it's going to have any sort of hopium long term. You got the monthly 55 and the weekly 200 simple. Do I think it's going to stop there personally? Fuck, man. Not looking good, bruv, as an English person would say. It should try a bounce about here or very slightly lower. I guess we'll come back and analysize it after that, but not looking good, bruv. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's a yearly. That is all kinds of bad. All kinds. Yeah, it's not good, man. Yeah. Anyways. Hey, what's up, Aaron? How you doing, man? USDT, sure. It looks scary, you say? I'd imagine so. It probably exploded here above 7. See what the monthly looked like on the closure. Wow. Yeah. Clear and obvious break. Well, kind of have to be looking for these highs to be challenged again. And I do have a technical target. Yeah. Around like 8.5, 8.75%, something like that. Might take some time to get up there, but yeah, aligns with general downside, on Bitcoins. In the short term though, again, bounce. This thing probably pulls back a little bit in the short term. Yeah. Something like that, man. I agree. Well, scary, not scary. It's going up. It's got some upside here, I think. I think it's going to retest these highs. Let's see what else we got. ASCII's looking at Tesla. Sure. I actually still hold this one, but I think it is coming down to a level in which I may no longer want to be holding. It's getting there. 417 still my line in the sand. It certainly doesn't look great here, though. There's definitely that, but I still have to hold my guns, Asti. The weekly below 417 on a closing basis. Okay, I'm happy to capitulate because I think at that point you're getting ready for a move down to like 370-ish, something like that. Until then, I hold out for a little bit of hopium here for a higher low and a bounce, but just shooting you straight, I don't think it's looking too hot right now. Hopefully I'm wrong. I hold this thing right now because there is potential for hidden bullish divergence here if it does turn around exactly right here. Just don't want to see it below 417 on a weekly close. MG76 is looking at quadruple U. Rejection and down. Rejected the prior high. At that point, probably looking for another downside move, like 17.5, $18. It's It's kind of a big move from where you're at right now. Bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. I think next move is down, man. But I'm not necessarily bearish on it long term. I'm just looking for a downside move. And, you know, if it bounces there, that actually kind of makes a lot of sense. So I'd want to come back to it after that next downside move. McLovin says, is Lunar still bullish? Probably not. I think it failed our region last. No, I still like this one. I think it just comes down a little bit. I'm still holding myself as well, you know, just for full disclosure. But I do think it comes down here. Probably like 15.5 to 16 bucks. That's what I'd be looking for. But I think that this one still actually has some good hopium there. But short term, yeah, downside. Again, I hold this one full disclosure, but I do think it's going to come down here. You know, you got 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence. Yeah, I'd say 16 bucks or so. Hope if it doesn't bounce at 16, okay, then yeah, I'll capitulate. That's fine. It'll still be a slight amount of profit on that position. I think I bought like 13.5 to 14 region, but we'll see. I'll hold out for that one. Not terrible just yet. All right, one moment. Mr. Spliv, short it all. We're gay for TA here. Mr. Spliv's been calling the highs since like 120. This guy's fucking on it, baby. Fucking on it. I love it. I love it indeed. We'll do a few more, then we'll call it a day. We're already an hour and a half into this bitch, and my phone's going like crazy, and I do have a doctor's appointment to get to today. All right. Un momento. Well, and Costco. We're going to Club Costco today. Fuck yeah. Tyler Brown says, hey, Crown, ARB thoughts on a turnaround? Oh, God. Oh, you're still looking at crypto shitcoins. I wonder what community you're from. Yeah, bro. Looks great. Turning around and no problem. Here, I've turned it around for you. It's bullish as fuck, except this chart is upside down. So it's actually bearish as all can be. Yeah, it is actually a top runner for Worst Chart of the Day award. Tell him what he's won. He's won a nice big old institutional adoption and tokenized assets. They're obviously just not using this thing because why the fuck would they, man? Why the fuck would they? What sort of Kool-Aid have you been drinking, sir? The good kind. Only the good kind of Kool-Aid can make you believe in something like this. But that's okay. We've all been there, man. I'm not trying to make fun of you or anything like that. We've all been there. We've all believed in the most silly of silly, nonsensical narratives in the past. Best case scenario, a bounce to 18 cents and then down only for down only for down only. MG says, RCAT Daily Weekly. Sure. Yeah, we'll end on this one, actually. Another one that I do hold, this one also, I don't actually know. I haven't checked in on it. Where is it? 13.5. I still like it, actually, here. I'm still holding this. Look, I am in from significantly lower. I'm in from like low single digits, but I actually do like this one, especially as long as you're above 11.5 bucks. I'm bullish here. I'm happy to hold. I'd only get bearish if you start to close weeklies below about $11. Until then, I'm bullish. Yeah, I like it. I'm going to continue to hold. So it is what it is. What it is. If you're on a daily time frame, I think you got a little bit of sideways and down here, but like I said, I'm happy to hold until I get those objective closing signals. So yeah. All right. Yeah, join the Discord. The Discord is fun. It is also a crazy Wild Wild West place, so don't fucking be offended and don't do dumb shit and don't complain. But anyone's free to join. It's fun time. We all like hanging out there. We got some of the best characters in the cave hanging out there. It's good stuff, man. Anyways, Discord is a psyop. It is indeed a psyop. Yeah, we're gonna end actually one last one for XRP. I'm actually curious what XRP looks like. What is it trading at right now? Yeah, okay, so it has broken down. All right, yeah. The world is healing, and down we go into the crypto toilet. Where do we stop? Nobody knows. Maybe around 1.25, maybe 130, maybe never. We may never know the truth until time has passed. But yeah, silver across the downside, monthly breakdown. I think you get 130 in the next, I don't know, 1 to 3 months from now. Short term, tries to bounce like Bitcoin, but just like Bitcoin, I think that the bounce is kind of doomed here. Anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you on this nice Monday morning. We'll be back with another live stream, of course, on Wednesday and Friday, keeping up with the tradition. And then Tuesday and Thursday, we will do a regular recorded video. So yeah, wishing everyone the best as always. Take care. Much love. One positive dude says, this guy looking at XRP again, credibility forever ruined. Lol. How fucking dumb do you have to be? Holy shit. Do you understand how many shitty charts I look at on a daily basis? And your issue is with XRP, which is, of course, a shitty chart, and I am calling downside, but goddamn, fuck you, sir. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. But it is weird. It is a weird thing to say. Anyways, yeah, we'll end things on that note. As always, wish you the best. Take care. Much love.